So welcome. Let me start out by welcoming all of you to the North Building of Suburban Hospital, the very beautiful North Building of Suburban Hospital. I am Jacky Schultz, and I am the president of Suburban Hospital. And it's my honor and privilege to welcome you this morning to the dedication of our North Building. Today represents a milestone in Suburban's 76-year-old history. And today is a day that we will remember for many decades to come. I will remember it for certain. Today is the day of a realization of a grand vision, a vision shared by many and the result of many years of work. And when I say many years, I really do mean many years. This project was over 10 years in the planning and permission process and over 4 years in the execution process. We have been so fortunate to have many wonderful leaders in our system, in our hospital, and the community that helped make this happen. And so today is a day of gratitude. From us, Suburban Hospital leadership, to you, the community and leaders who were by our side throughout the process and helped to make this a reality. We're fortunate to have many supporters here. Our board of trustees, both the foundation board and the hospital board, our donors. Our donors have made so much possible that would not have been possible without their generosity. Your commitment to advancing our vision is a gift to our patients and the entire community. Our Johns Hopkins Healthcare System and Johns Hopkins leadership. We are proud members of this system. Our community leadership, neighborhood and county and state officials. Our first responders from Montgomery County. Police, fire, and EMS, we are proud to serve with you. Our physicians and physician leaders, our volunteers and patient and family advocates, our leadership team at Suburban, and you can see them because they're all standing around the edges, and we have a wonderful, committed leadership team. And lastly, but never least, our staff. They are the true heart and soul of Suburban Hospital. Our magnet-certified nurses, our techs, our PAs, our NPs, our housekeepers, our social workers, our dietary staff, our physical therapists, and many, many other roles, which I am forgetting to mention, that make up our team. And it takes a team. It takes a team every day to get the wonderful work we're able to do here done. We are grateful for all of you. I thank you from executive leadership, the present leadership and past leadership, for bringing us to this wonderful morning. And now it's my pleasure to invite to the podium our hospital chaplain, Reverend Barbara McKenzie, who will do the invocation. Barbara?
I am so excited. Today I am so happy and blessed to have the opportunity to offer a blessing to this grand facility, and this week to offer a blessing for a new granddaughter. It doesn't get much bigger than that. I offer this blessing. The faithful and courageous prophet Jeremiah proclaims the word of God in this sacred verse. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. God of abundant love, amazing grace and tender mercies, God of all people. We are gathered here blessed beyond our doing and happy for all the miracles that surround us. We thank you for those whose long labors through many seasons made this day of celebration possible. Our leadership and administrators and investors and policymakers, our medical team and staff, builders and dreamers. We also give thanks today for this community, a pool of Bethesda, a house of mercy, and a place many of us call home. But most of all, we give thanks for the opportunity to give help and hope and healing for the generations to come and the years ahead that will be a blessing beyond our living. As we celebrate today the completion of this grand facility, we also pray for the vision and the courage and the perseverance, oh God, to provide access, opportunity, and equality for all within our reach. Holy God, you have increased our footprint and blessed us with doors that open wide to receive our patients and families, windows that are the pathways for light and possibility, and rooms that house state-of-the-art technologies and resources. Thank you, God. God of all people, we pray that the words we speak, the prayers we offer, the instruments we utilize, and the lives we live score a future that is worthy of the glory of God. May the Lord bless you and take care of you, all of you. May the Lord be kind and gracious to you. May the Lord look on you with favor and give you peace this day. Amen.
Morning, everybody. I think I'm next. Is that right? Okay. So I loved that there was a trauma called overhead that blended with Barbara's fantastic and moving dedication and prayer for our hospital and our future. I thought that was a great blending of what we are here to do. So I'm Barton Leonard. I'm the chief of staff. I'm actually the third generation of docs to be here at Suburban. My granddad was a GP in Kensington, Maryland, and attended to his patients here. My mom was a candy striper here at Suburban in the late 50s and early 60s, and then wound up being a doc on the board here. And now you got me. I've been here for over 20 years. They will have to drag me kicking and screaming out before they can get rid of me. I bleed Suburban blue. So obviously I'm very dedicated, very happy about, very biased towards this little community hospital that we have. And it truly is a community hospital. It has that cozy look and feel that makes patients welcome, makes staff welcome. You want to stay here. And when you walk around the halls and you talk to people and you're like, oh, how long have you been at Suburban? You'll hear 20 years, 30 years. People stay here for a reason. But Suburban's more than just a traditional community hospital. We also function a lot like a tertiary care or academic center. Now even more so that we're part of Hopkins. You know, Hopkins brings us that education piece, the research piece, all the specialty service lines. But even before Hopkins, we've been an academic and tertiary care type of community hospital. We had the good fortune of being across the street from Walter Reed, so we've always got an Army or a Navy resident rotating through to learn how to be battlefield ready. They rotate through our trauma service and help support us, and they learn while they're here. We also have the good fortune of having NIH, the world's premier research institution across the street. So we've been doing research in collaboration with them forever. And we also have, for instance, stroke fellows that really help support and enhance our stroke program. And it's those kind of things that are the differentiator for Suburban. There's a reason that Suburban has this kind of academic and complex care type of tilt. We have a very few community hospitals our size have a cardiac center that can do open heart surgery. Very few community hospitals our size have a trauma center. By being a trauma center, you have to have lots of other service lines that can support that. So you have to have ortho trauma, neurosurgery, et cetera, the traumatologists themselves. And those kind of service lines support not only the trauma patients that come in, but also everybody else, because we're here to take care of them. And very few community hospitals our size have a stroke program that can go in and suck the clot out of someone's brain in an acute stroke. I mean, that stuff was like science fiction when I was training, and that's the kind of cutting edge stuff that is really exciting and that we can do here. And, you know, I'm an ER doc, and so I see the ambulances rolling in. And there is a reason that the EMS guys drive their rigs and their patients here, sometimes past other hospitals, with their sickest patients, and it's because they know that we can take care of those patients. And there's a reason that our community docs refer their patients to Suburban for medical and surgical care. And there's a reason that the patients themselves will often drive long distances past their regional hospitals to get care here. So I'm just so proud of what this little community hospital can do. And now that we have this new facility, this new campus, this new building, you know, the state-of-the-art ORs, state-of-the-art technology, all these great private patient rooms, and this beautiful facility itself, and the whole campus. It's just made the whole campus fantastic. So, and now that you know we're part of Hopkins, you know, our vision and our future is the sky's the limit, and not just for patients here in Bethesda, Maryland, but for patients across the National Capital Region.
Having something that's not perfect about you can be a blessing. I think it made me a tougher person. I think it made me less inclined to complain. Hi.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Great to see you. So I met Mrs. Walton and her husband, and they had been referred to me by another spine surgeon for her complex spinal deformity called scoliosis, which is a curvature of the spine. And she was having a hard time walking around, had back pain, leg pain, and she had a small frame. So I was concerned that the bones in her spine would be relatively small, which makes the surgery difficult in some ways in terms of placing instrumentation like screws.
I was corkscrewing down, and it was getting really, really hard to function. To stand up, I had to hold my left rib up.
One thing that differentiates Johns Hopkins Medicine at Suburban Hospital is that we have Hopkins-level care in a community setting. And we had amazing technology that let us do what we did for Mrs. Walton. We're in one of the operating rooms here at Suburban Hospital, and you can see here we have a table that we would use for a case like Mrs. Walton's. What do I think about? What do I worry about in a case like this? And every case has a different critical point, so her bones especially are very tiny. And the screws are about 5 to 7 millimeters in diameter, and the bones can sometimes be only 4 to 6 millimeters in diameter. So the reason we want to have an intraoperative guidance system or a GPS like the one we have here is that it helps us place all of the screws, instrumentation, and other elements into the spine in the exact right location.
I believe I would be in a wheelchair now if I had not had the operation. You changed the quality of my life so much, I can hardly believe it.
Mrs. Walton recovered quite well after the surgery. By 3 months after the surgery, she was back to most of her activities of daily living. She was driving, and she was walking better than she was before the surgery. It's amazing that I get to do what I get to do. I feel so fortunate and blessed that patients come to me with their medical problems and such serious problems relating to the spine, and that I am able to go in there and use these technologies, work with this wonderful team at Suburban Hospital, and be able to help them get better.
Okay, I framed my before and after pictures because it's such a miracle what happened. I couldn't be more pleased with the whole process from beginning to end. And I don't want to forget the opportunity I had that you gave me to change my life and the quality of my life going forward.
So thank you, Dr. Khanna, and thank you, Mrs. Walton, for sharing your story, and thank you for being here today with us. That video, and you're going to see a few others, really represent the spirit of what happens here at Suburban Hospital. We are a community hospital that also provides some of the most complex and cutting-edge technology and care available today. This opening marks the culmination of our long-term plan for our campus. It's going to enable us to continue to provide high-quality care, that our patients deserve, that our community deserves, and that they have come to expect from us. This new building is state-of-the-art and leverages the most advanced technology for patients. And while we are also blessed to have many partnerships in the community, I wouldn't want to not mention the fabulous neighbors around us. We're proud of our partnerships with our neighbors, the National Institutes of Health and Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. I keep thinking the old National Navy Met. We are so happy that we are their neighbors, and we have been enriched over the years. And that has provided for us a foundation for biomedical discovery and medical education. Now, I wouldn't want to also mention some of the folks that are here to represent our community, the elected officials we are proud to have joining us. And we have counted on their support over the whole process to get this building done. So please stand when I call your name and wave. From Montgomery County, we're joined today by Council President Sidney Katz. Our very own District 1 Council member, Andrew Friedson. Andrew. Council member Hans Reamer. Council member Gabe Albernez. From our wonderful partners in the police, 2nd District Commander Sean Gagan. Sean? Director of Planning Gwen Wright. And from the federal government, we're pleased to be joined by Joan Kleinman. Joan, who represents the office of Senator Chris Van Hallen. And Ken Reichert. Ken? Representing the office of Senator Ben Cardin. Now, you're going to hear from the most eloquent people who speak to what we do with another short video about our patients and from our patients and physicians.
It does not matter who you are. It does not matter where you're from. Everyone is susceptible at any point in time. My name is Jessica Jeffrey. I actually have a sobriety date of December 8th, 2014. My struggle started when I was really young, probably around the age of 14, and it wasn't until I was 26 that I found recovery.
When somebody's involved with a substance use disorder, it affects everything, from their physical health to their mental health. You know, it ripples across every part of that person's life.
Everybody thinks or has this image, right, that it's the guy on the side of the highway with the brown paper bag. That's not always the case. You know, I was born and raised here in Montgomery County. I come from a good family. Last person you'd probably suspect, but I fell victim.
So how do I know if I'm just using or am I abusing?
At Suburban, you know, we want people to know that we are a treatment resource for people. What we want to do is really educate the patient about substance use disorder, and all the while give them the support to put day-by-day sobriety together.
You know, I think Suburban just has a very a well-known name in the community that's well respected, and you know, we're just providing a place for them to learn and you know, be part of a group of people who are going through a lot of the same things.
Part of our job is to reduce some of the anxiety and the myths around treatment and say, you know, we're going to work together with you. We're going to come up with a plan. We're going to make it so it's beneficial for you and your family.
That program definitely helped to set a tone for my life and in my recovery, and each time planted a seed for me in regards to knowing I have support, knowing I have the resources out there. And you know, it's just helped to segue in regards to me wanting to work in the field, and I'm super blessed and grateful to have had the privilege of going through the program and now being able to work with them on the other side as well.
I can't imagine doing anything more rewarding than seeing someone, you know, grow and change and come in at a place where you know, they may feel hopeless, and to see them have hope again and know that there is a beautiful life out there without drugs and alcohol.
Hopkins as a whole, and Suburban specifically, has a phenomenal reputation. So to know that they're there and they're extremely accessible is amazing. To know that they offer a range of services is great too. So I mean, we're very blessed to have them in this community.
one of the pleasures of being at Suburban has been to work with our Board of Trustees. We have an incredibly engaged and supportive Board of Trustees who we always count on. So it's a pleasure again to reintroduce Chuck Wiebe, the chair of our board.
What an amazing story that was. Thank you, Beth Kane Davidson, for overseeing that program, and for Jessica. It was just a really brilliant story and wonderfully produced. Thank you. I am Chuck Wiebe. I have the honor to be the chair of the Suburban Hospital Board of Trustees. Interestingly, my term began within days of the project's approval by the Montgomery County Board of Appeals, and here we are 10 years later. So I had the easy job. For those people who, from 2004, or as I found out earlier today, really from about 24 years before that, this has been a project long in coming, and we're thrilled, and I'm thrilled to be standing here. Since 1943, Suburban Hospital has been a community hospital. We are proud of our service to this community and value our ties to other important community organizations, many of whom are represented here today, including Gigi Godwin, Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce. Can you please stand and wave? Thank you. Bob Atlas of the Maryland Hospital Association. Bob, if you could stand. Thank you for being our partner here today, and we look forward to many years to come. As Jackie and others have mentioned, a project of this scale requires great leadership and teamwork. It's been a pleasure to share the journey with the leaders of the Suburban Hospital Foundation, who are represented here today by their Vice Chair, Tom Murphy. Tom? And it gives me just tremendous pleasure, and I'm humbled to be able to introduce our campaign chair for this project, John McMahon. Thank you. As Jackie referenced, this project requires the perseverance and commitment by the board to see it through. It's such a pleasure today to be joined by several former chairmen of the board, and I would like to ask them also to stand to be recognized, and if you wouldn't mind, keep standing. I had a couple remarks for you. Cal LaRoche, Barry Rogstad, Chris Doherty, David Silver. It's mere happenstance that I'm standing here. I mean, there's really, as I said, I came in midstream, and I've just watched a lot of people work incredibly hard over the years to make this project happen, including these 5 gentlemen. I stand on their shoulders. In effect, if you do the math right, and I'll kind of average it up a little bit because of my height, we're about 36 feet tall. And I really do stand on your shoulders. You've mentored me, and you've served this community incredibly well. It's your vision, your stubborn perseverance, your cheerleading that has really made this happen, and we brought the project home. And I congratulate you, and I'm happy to stand here on your behalf. And we brought this project home to our community. In July 2011, then Councilmember Marc Elrich joined his colleagues in voting to approve the repurposing of 1 block of Lincoln Street so that we could all be here today. I'm pleased to have the opportunity to thank you personally for your vote and to introduce you as Montgomery County's 7th County Executive. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our Montgomery County Executive, Marc Elrich. Thank you, Marc.
This is really an important day. I've been spending a lot of time in the bio community up the road and looking at the evolution of medicine and dealing with people who are on the cutting edge of what's coming down the road. And you can't spend time there and not be in total awe of the evolution of the medical world. And we are all, even us older folks, are going to be enormous beneficiaries of the work that's being done right now. And now you've got a hospital that is going to be in the state of the art, that has NIH as a partner, that has the military center across the street at Walter Reed as a partner, and that it has the premier research facility in medicine and bio in the state, in Johns Hopkins, and all that comes together here. And that's going to be a big deal for Montgomery County. I appreciate, you talk a lot about being a community hospital, but being the trauma center for the region is more than being a community hospital. You had to do special things in order to receive that designation, and I think it says a lot about the work you do, and it says a lot about the commitment and the work that everybody here, all the staff that's standing up and lined around this room. You're the people that the patients rely on. You're the one that give the hospital direction, and frankly, you're the ones that give the hospital a reputation. All us folks in suits and ties and whatever, we don't mean anything at the end of the day if you all aren't doing the amazing work you do in this hospital every day. And I want to thank you for what you do to make this place an amazing, amazing facility. So I'm happy to be here. I'm glad that you're growing in Montgomery County. We're going to continue to make sure we do what we need to do to support life sciences, which is your lifeblood. We're going to hopefully make your jobs easier. It's nice not to have to do surgery the way you're doing surgery and be able to know that you can be guided with the latest in technology and not have to hope you get it right, but to have just an incredibly high level of assurance that what you're doing is going to work. And all that's possible because of the advances that have been made. And we're sitting in probably one of the most advanced centers in the region. So I just want to thank you for giving me a chance to say a few words, let you know how much Montgomery County appreciates the work that's being done here. We look forward to continuing partnership, and hopefully you will give us advice on what are the best things and important things that the county can do to support medical health in the county, and hopefully, we will partner with you and be happy to talk with you about our ideas and plans. So thank you very much. And I have the privilege of bringing up the next speaker, my Congressman Jamie Raskin. And so with no further ado,
Well, thank you, County Executive Elrich, and all my colleagues from the Montgomery County Council, all of the distinguished dignitaries here. It's a special pleasure for me to be here for the dedication of the North Building at Suburban Hospital because I love this hospital, and it's a special pleasure to be here without a child who has a broken ankle or chicken pox or any of the other diseases my kids have come up with over the years. But we have counted very much on this hospital as a community treasure, and that it is. And everybody loves the hospital, which is saying a lot because most people don't love most hospitals. But this is a hospital that is really beloved in our community. It has special roots to with the federal government. It was created with the federal government back in 1943 in the middle of World War II, and it maintains an extraordinary, if not unique, relationship with our federal installations like Walter Reed and NIH and the Neurological and Stroke Center and so on. We are able to have this great resource in our community and to have open doors to everybody in the community at the same time that it operates in a very special way with the principal the scientific and medical research the entities in the country. And that is what makes it such an extraordinary and unique resource. I bring you, I'm thrilled to be able to represent Suburban Hospital and to be able to be a champion of resources that make it such a great institution, but I bring you the greetings of everybody in the Maryland Congressional Delegation, and we are all doing whatever we can to support the work of this great institution, and I'm very proud to be here today in order to inaugurate this great new phase in the development of Suburban Hospital and Johns Hopkins Medicine.
One of the things as board chair that you get to do is correct a mistake, and in addition to Cal LaRoche, Barry Rockstead, David Silver, Chris Doherty, I am so sorry to have missed Howard Gleckman. And if everyone could please give a round of applause. Howard is a dear friend. I've never seen many people as committed to this hospital, and he is. And I just publicly want to thank you for your service and your mentorship and your friendship. Thank you.
So thank you. You can see that I've had a whole lot of wonderful board chairs in the 14 years in which I have been here. I want to thank you, Mr. Elrich and Mr. Raskin, for your remarks and for being here today. And thank you for all the dignitaries and officials who are here. Now, we are now joined by another, and I would want to absolutely acknowledge Councilmember Will Jawando. Will, you want to stand to be recognized, please? Now, since 2009, July 1st, 2009, Suburban has been a proud member of the Johns Hopkins Healthcare System, and we are proud of our membership. I'm pleased to introduce the president of the Johns Hopkins Healthcare System and the executive vice president of Johns Hopkins Medicine, Mr. Kevin Sowers. Kevin?
Thank you, Jackie. Good morning, everyone. Before I begin my formal remarks, I'd like to say a couple thank yous. First of all, to the board, both the past and the present. Thank you for your dedication to the vision and the mission of this new building. It will make an incredible difference for many generations to come. Second, last night we celebrated our donors, but I'd like to celebrate them one more time. You can never celebrate the people who are deeply committed to our mission and vision. And so for those of you who actually were able to contribute towards this building, you have been a part of creating a beacon that will once again serve for many generations to come in terms of meeting the needs of the healthcare needs of this community. And last but not least, in my 35 years in healthcare, I've had a lot of opportunities to work with a lot of different leaders. And I want to recognize Jackie. From my arrival 2 years ago, Jackie was a straight shooter and was sure I can always rely upon Jackie that she's going to get something done. But what I appreciate most about her getting something done is she never loses the insight of what it means to lead a group of people and bringing people along. And so that's my next thank you is to the staff and the physicians that work here each and every day and make a big difference in the lives of the patients and their loved ones that we serve each and every day. So let's give our staff and our physicians a hand. You know, it's my pleasure to celebrate this incredible milestone on behalf of Suburban Hospital today, and also on behalf of the Johns Hopkins Medicine Board of Trustees, the executive leadership, and our over 40,000 employees across the health system. We congratulate our colleagues here today at Suburban Hospital. The opening of this building is not only a watershed moment in the history of Suburban Hospital, but it also represents a strategic milestone and crown jewel for the future of Johns Hopkins Medicine in the National Capital Region in advancing our ability to deliver on the promise of medicine to the residents and community and beyond. Suburban has been a beacon of hope in this community and a hospital of choice for excellence in medicine since its formation more than 75 years ago. The opening of this beautiful facility affirms Suburban's unwavering dedication to excellence, compassion, and innovation, and to Johns Hopkins Medicine's commitment to the residents of Bethesda, Montgomery County, and the National Capital Region. It also represents our commitment to our community and those who trust us with their health and well-being. The affiliations with Johns Hopkins in 2009 emerged from a desire by the trustees and the leadership of the hospital and Johns Hopkins Medicine to pursue a shared vision of bringing world-class health care to Montgomery County. Our collective vision to create hope for humanity by pushing the boundaries of discovery, transforming healthcare, and advancing medical education continues to guide this organization today. Suburban is a recognized leader in discovery with a long-standing relationship, as we've heard, with NIH, and continues to advance medical education through their relationship with Johns Hopkins School of Medicine. In my career, having opened many buildings and built many buildings, we're here to celebrate the building, but a building is nothing without its people. And what really makes this building come alive are the people who are standing along the sides here, and it's our physicians and staff that bring compassion and passion into the building and bring it to life. Suburban Hospital is among the fewer than 8% of the hospitals nationwide and the first hospital in Montgomery County to achieve Magnet designation for nursing excellence. But I must comment that while we celebrate nursing excellence through Magnet, Magnet celebrates the team. And if the team's not working together, you don't get the award. So it's about the entire team and what they bring to this incredible hospital. This prestigious award for nursing excellence, quality of patient care, and innovation is a tribute to Suburban's nurses, leadership, and all staff for consistently providing compassionate care to patients, their families, and community. More recently, the hospital again earned an A grade for safety by the Leapfrog Group. This notable accomplishment is also a testament of our exceptional physicians, nurses, staff, and volunteers' dedication to quality and safety, which is a focus throughout the Johns Hopkins Health System. To the community of physicians who serve on our medical staff, we especially recognize that you choose to work with us and entrust the care of your patients and families to our care across the Johns Hopkins Health System. We thank you and value your partnership. You know, this marvelous facility embodies Suburban's commitment to clinical excellence and compassionate care. It also enables Johns Hopkins Medicine to continue to deliver the promise and improve the health of the community and the world for generations to come. In my final remarks to the staff standing along the side, it's great to celebrate the building you're about to move into, but I want to remind people, within the first 30 to 60 days, be kind, be calm, because what looks great today, when you finally get into it, you're going to have some things you got to work through. So be patient. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for your words. And I also want to acknowledge that we're joined today, and we heard his eloquent words last night, by the Dean and President and CEO of Johns Hopkins Medicine, Dr. Paul Rothman. Now, we have a group of people who you're going to hear from next who truly are our partners in all of this. Suburban's Hospital Patient and Family Advisory Council is a dedicated group of volunteers, active and dedicated, who help us ensure that the needs of our patients and families are top of mind. Not only do they advise us in daily operations, and they are very engaged, so they do advise us in daily operations by representing the voice of our patients, but they also played an important role in guiding us in the design of this North Building and how we will care for patients in this facility. So I am pleased to introduce you to the current chair of our Patient and Family Advisory Council and the next speaker, Steve Bokat. Steve.
As Jacky said, Suburban's Patient and Family Advisory Council is the voice of patients, families, and the community in everything the hospital does. The PFAC consists of 20 volunteers, many of whom are here, and 10 hospital staff. Critical to our success is the partnership between the community volunteers, known as Patient Family Advisors, or PFAs, and the healthcare providers. The voice of our PFAs is heard through our active participation in almost 50 committees and councils where we advocate for patient and family-centered care. It is to Johns Hopkins and Suburban's everlasting credit that they have openly welcomed our PFAs into the operation of the hospital. The principles of patient-family-centered care are that every patient and family is treated with dignity and respect. The healthcare providers communicate and share complete and unbiased information with patients and families. That healthcare providers encourage patients and families to participate in care and decision-making. And finally, that patients, families, and healthcare providers work together to improve every aspect of the healthcare system. That is the role the PFAC serves every day at Suburban. Suburban fulfilled this last principle, working together to improve the system, as Jacky said, by consulting our advisors on many aspects of this wonderful North building, including signage, room design, and furniture. We are especially pleased that the building includes a patient and family resource center. It's located right behind the reception desk. That center will be organized and operated by the PFAC, where patients, families, and community members can obtain carefully vetted material to help them make wise healthcare decisions. I'm a lifelong member of the Suburban community, and my family have been patients, volunteers, and even an employee. First and foremost, Suburban is a crucial community resource, a resource that is greatly enhanced by the partnership with Johns Hopkins Medicine. And this resource is not just about the direct medical care that occurs here, but includes education and community outreach through many classes occurring here and at Oasis, the Senior Learning Center sponsored by Suburban. This building, and more importantly, the wonderful staff and volunteers, puts first-class health care on Montgomery County's doorstep. Montgomery County, by having 20 community members serving as volunteer members of the PFAC, can be assured that its voice is being heard in everything that occurs here. Thank you.
It was November, the leaves were down, and so I said, I'm gonna go rake. And I no sooner got out there, and I just wasn't feeling right. Both arms and hands kind of lit up with tingling. Then I actually, the fleeting thought went through my head, could this be a heart attack? And I was just thinking I could die out here. I thought, please let me just make it into the house. And the paramedic came in, and I remember lying in my bed and watching his face change when the readout came through, and he was immediately like, okay, get him out of here, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I was like, oh, thank God. I had my heart attack 10 years ago, so I decided I wanted to go back to Suburban and retrace my steps. Kind of nice to be in all of these places as a healthy, new, changed person.
Hi, I'm Amy.
I arrived at the emergency department. Dr. Davenport evaluated me, monitored me for the day on blood thinners and nitroglycerin so that I wouldn't be in pain.
The key point here is that there is a hospital very close to his home, which has a platinum rating for the top possible rating of cardiac perfection.
So this was me 10 years ago. A little overweight before I had my heart attack, not quite as healthy as I turned out I needed 3 stents. I had 2 pretty severe blockages of one of my arteries, 98%.
Suburban is not only the trauma designated center for the county, we're also a cardiac center and an open heart center and the designated stroke center. So we truly can deliver world-class care for patients like Rodney. Even though we have the cozy look and feel of a community hospital, we also have the ability of tertiary care or academic centers.
Oh my God!
I went to go see Jean Marie and the other staff at the cardiac rehab center.
Seeing somebody after going through a procedure like that and to see him today, that's why I do my job. Cardiac rehab is important because it is a crucial element of the recovery process for cardiac patients. When you have a heart event, it's not only the physical side of things where you're trying to rebuild, but it's also the psychological side.
My 8th marathon.
But Boston, 10 years. I tried to get into Boston for 10 years.
Having
I finally did it.
the clinicians here to guide them through that process is really, really beneficial to them. And they show that mortality is decreased 30 or 40% with people that do cardiac rehab versus folks that do not do cardiac rehab.
Doctors at Suburban that perform the angioplasty procedure that I have are very skilled. They perform these procedures every day, and not to jinx myself, but I'm going on 10 years and I've never had an issue with my stents.
We're so pleased you're doing well. You look wonderful. You know, to us, it speaks to the excellence of the integrated team from the emergency room to the cath lab. We really think we have.
I think that's the thing I most take away from it. It was great to see, I mean, so many people were happy to see me and wish me well, but I wasn't the same person I was when I was there 10 years ago. I got a second chance because Suburban was the best of both worlds. It's a great community hospital, and they really have just top-notch, high-quality care. And as a lawyer, I am trained to be very discerning and deliberate, and I really would not have chosen to do anything different. I haven't had a single issue since the day I left Suburban Hospital. And as much as I love Suburban, I hope I'm not back.
Thank you, Mr. Vieira and Barton and all the physicians. And thank you all of our patients who shared their stories. There are so many other stories to tell, but I hope the moving videos that you have seen today demonstrated our important role in the community, a role that we feel privileged to serve. Now today we open the North Building and our vision for campus transformation really becomes a reality. Today is the beginning of new stories of care that are going to happen in the private patient rooms and in the new interventional suites and in the new ORs and some of the new medical offices. This new facility is the physical embodiment of the next thing that today is about, and that is our promise to you and all of you in the greater community that we serve to be here. A promise that we will be here for you and for your loved ones for generations to come. It's our promise to continue to deliver on the Johns Hopkins promise of medicine right here in the National Capital Region. And so in closing, once again, please accept my gratitude and the gratitude truly of all those people standing in a semicircle, because we are all feel so blessed and grateful to be in this new space and to be here today with you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your investment in the future of our community.
Oh, I'm sorry.